Dewhurst, and welcome to the August readings from the Science of Mind magazine, The Daily Guides. I'm still a little bit sleepy. We just had a lunch today, not all that long ago, really, with some Indian friends of ours, and the lunch was wonderful, and I probably ate a little bit too much. So there you are, but it was all homemade. Even the dessert, which was a carrot cake, was homemade, so that was really good. So I am so grateful. And here are our readings. The title of the magazine, or the subject of the whole magazine this month, is about fear and how to use that for our good. And the daily guides are written by Reverend Kelly Robbins. A little bit more about her in a second. And on the cover of the daily guides, not the magazine itself, there is what appears to be, it's an archway, but I guess it's kind of representing a cave, and it's looking out over a lake, and it's got some mountains in the background with some snow on, and some shrubbery and some greens around. The cave you fear to enter hides the treasure you seek. The cave you fear to enter hides the treasure you seek. And that was by none other than Joseph Campbell, who, of course, as you know, is the author of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. And here is our guide for this month, Reverend Kelly. She is, like me, she's a CSL, or Centers for Spiritual Living minister, and she is founder of Spiritual Living with Kelly Robbins. And she says that her multifaceted ministry allows her to facilitate life's significant rituals and also turning points with reverence and love. So facilitating both life's significant rituals and their turning points with reverence and love. And she serves the community by honoring loved ones through memorials and celebrations of life, and also by officiating weddings, providing premarital counseling, and serving as a chaplain at both of St. Anthony's hospitals in Denver, Colorado. And Reverend Robbins is the author of Trust Your Next Step, Creating the Confidence to Cut Fresh Tracks. And she's also the publisher of Reflections with Spirit. So you can learn more about her, kellyrobbins.net. Kelly, Kelly, Robbins, all one word, .net. And she says about this month's guide, she says, they focus on a powerful emotion, fear. Fear can be debilitating, and when examined and explored, it can also serve as a catalyst for growth and awakening. Fear is Spirit's personal message that we have an opportunity for healing. If we so choose, she says, fear can offer an opportunity to deepen our oneness with each other and with all of life. She says, although we often try to avoid fear, this month we explore how to use fear as a springboard for our soul's evolution and personal enlightenment. So here we go with Reverend Kelly Robbins. First quote is from, well, appropriately enough, it's J.J.R. Tolkien. A man that flies from his fear may find that he has only taken a shortcut to meet it. So let's make it gender non-specific. Someone who flies from their fear may find that they have only taken a shortcut to meet it. How about that? I think in this day and age, it's probably about time that we decided we're not going to leave quotes exactly as they are. If they're gender specific and they can be made gender non-specific, I try to do so because I think it's appropriate. If you don't agree with that, fine, really. Faith is this. Okay, this is a quote from Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. This is Ernest Holmes' quote of it. It's pretty close. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It's often attributed to the Apostle Paul, but depends who you read. Did he write Hebrews? Did he not write Hebrews? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For the ones of you who aren't familiar with the Christian scriptures, aka the New Testament, there were 4 Gospels, and then there were the rest of the New Testament literature, a lot of which is attributed to the Apostle Paul, and Hebrews is one of them, actually. But modern theory is he may not have written that. Now, this is Reverend Kelly, and I like it when we have stories. As I've mentioned many times, stories are things that sell your points. She says, when I was young, my first corporate job was a supervisor of a customer service counter. Yeah, good luck with that one, huh? One day, a client walked in asking for a cash refund. Our company policy was not to give cash for refunds in this way. He was angry, and he threatened us with a gun. I remember standing there, frozen in fear, not wanting to make a bad decision, and not budging on the refund. Not sure I might have given the guy a refund, actually. Looking down the barrel of a gun. She said, I didn't know what to do. In the corner of my eye, I saw an employee slowly edge toward the safety button under the counter. Thankfully, the customer left without an incident. In that moment, I learned something about myself. I freeze in fear. And not everyone responds in that way. Today, there's a good chance I'd still freeze in a fearful situation. However, I now have fewer of those situations, and I have the tools and the confidence to make a decision without fear of being wrong. And I think actually that's one of our biggest fears, the fear of being wrong. Barbara, my wife, or Babs, she likes me to call her Babs, expression poet, read a story by a guy called Lang, who was a Scotsman from the 20th century. And the way he was presenting this was, and the way she interpreted it in the talk was, that when you're in a situation like in an audience and you got a question and you don't ask it for fear of looking stupid, then really the only stupid question is the one that you never ask, because you can guarantee if it's a fairly big audience, there's a bunch of other people in that audience got the same question. Unlike you, they're afraid to ask for it. I think that kind of fear to me is more prevalent than any other, but they're all real. Ernest Holmes taught that fear is the opposite of confidence, and that faith and trust cannot exist together. I trust myself so much more now than I did as a young woman. Why? Because of my understanding of how God or the divine Spirit works. I'm not afraid to make the wrong decision because I trust I am a channel through which the divine expresses itself. I have the tool of affirmative prayer to help realize this truth whenever and as frequently as I need it. And we often give classes on, at least that some are deliberately on this, and some actually explain how to use affirmative prayer. And if you're not familiar with that, we call it spiritual mind treatment. Affirmative prayer is a prayer where you affirm something to be true, as opposed to pleading or begging for something. So that's affirmative prayer in a nutshell. Her affirmation, I'm a channel through which God creates. Change it to suit yourself. I know the nature of God is love, wholeness, and harmony, and my life reflects that. We had a discussion this afternoon with our Indian friends, or at least I had a discussion with the husband about what is the nature of reality. And a lot of this came into how you look at life and how you see things like spirit, the divine, the all, God, however you want to call it. So quite interesting. And we all have different views on this. So my affirmative prayer for everyone is, I am knowing a wonderful rest of the day for each and every person who watches this, and a wonderful day tomorrow. And I claim that this is divine truth, and I let it go in gratitude and saying so it is. Tomorrow, three things. About 9:15, Reverend Lisa, my colleague, will be on with her broadcast in the morning. 11 a.m., Creative by Spiritual Center will have its service. And at 5 p.m.-ish, yours truly will be back with another reading by Reverend Kelly Robbins. And we'll have to see what that is. I usually don't pre-read them the day before. As I mentioned, my wife reads them before she goes to sleep because she finds it very uplifting and it helps her get to sleep. So there you are. Until next time, thank you, my friends. Now